A very good morning to all my dear children. So today we are going to start with a new chapter, light. So this is the name of the chapter, light, which is further divided into two parts, reflection and refraction. In reflection we are going to deal with mirrors, and in refraction we are going to talk about lenses. And to be very specific, in mirrors we are going to talk about plane mirror, convex mirror and concave mirror, and in refraction we are going to talk about convex, biconvex lens and biconcave lens. Okay, so before we start with these phenomena, these concepts of reflection and refraction, we all should know what exactly is light. Okay, so if you want to tell it to a person who is not a science person, who doesn't know the complex things, okay, so how are you going to explain what exactly is light? So what we say is light is a form of energy. Like we say it for what is wind? Wind is also a form of energy. What is heat? It is a form of energy. Similarly, light is also a form of energy, but what form of energy? Which gives us the sensation to see the objects, or which gives us a sensation of vision. जो आपको the thing that make you see the objects is actually the light. Okay, so before we move ahead, because we are going to talk about the phenomena related to light, reflection and refraction, to be very specific in this chapter, but I want you all to know that these two are not the only phenomena which are related to light. Okay, I'm going to name few things. Maybe you are aware about it, and if you are not, so there is no need to get confused, but just to let you all know that what exactly is light, and what are the various phenomena of it, what is the nature of light. We all should know that apart from these are the 2-3 things that we all know. We know about reflection, we know about refraction, we know about dispersion. Okay, I am naming 2-3 more phenomena. There are many phenomena, okay, but a few are like interference, then there is something called diffraction, then we have something called polarization. So what I want you all to know is that these 3 phenomena that we know are not the only ones which are related to light. There are certain other things also, and because there are so many phenomena, and when scientists started studying about light in detail, about its nature, they had to take care of all these things. Okay, not only reflection, refraction, they had to take care of all the phenomena which were related to light, and that is how we got to know that what exactly is the nature of light. So let's start with we are not going to go into the detail of it, but we all should know that there were many theories that came into existence and talked about the nature of light. Okay, when we are talking about light, now again going back to our 9th standard, wherein we studied a chapter called sound, there we talked about waves. Okay, so waves, if again we go back and if you remember, and I hope you all remember, so waves we talked about, these are of 2 types. One is mechanical waves and another one was EM waves or electromagnetic waves. Okay, so mechanical waves are the one which requires medium to travel, and electromagnetic waves do not require medium to travel. And one thing about light, we all know that the light do not require any medium to travel. It does not require medium to travel or medium to propagate. Okay, so one thing we have understood from this statement, that light is what kind of wave? It is an electromagnetic wave. But before we move ahead, before we talked about this wave thing, or we talk about something else about light, we all should know that what were the theories. Again, we are not going to go into the detail, but we all should be aware about what exactly happened when people started, scientists started studying about light. Okay, so we here are going to talk about 4 theories. First theory that we are going to talk about is Newton's corpuscular theory. The second theory was given by Maxwell. So the name was Maxwell's EM waves theory. Third theory that came into existence was quantum theory. And the fourth fourth one was de Broglie's dual nature theory. Dual nature theory. Now you have to pay attention to what I speak, okay? So first theory we are going to talk about is Newton's corpuscular theory. The word itself is telling you it was given by Newton, and what Newton meant by it, the word, this corpuscular word, which we all know, its meaning is cell. When you must be studying it in bio, WBC, RBCs, we call white blood corpuscles or red blood corpuscles. So same word we have used over here. So what according to Newton was this thing? Newton said that light travels in space with a great speed in the form of corpuscles. He termed, or he meant to say, that light is moving or light is propagating in space in form of certain particles which are known as corpuscles. Okay, so this was a theory which was given by Newton, but when he started doing experiments based on his theory, what he observed that he could not explain all the phenomena related to light. Like I said, reflection, refraction, very basic phenomena, and he could explain all these things. But as he moved ahead with the basic, with not the basic one, with the complex phenomena related to light, he couldn't prove this corpuscles theory over there. Okay, then came Maxwell, and Maxwell gave another theory, electromagnetic wave theory. Now this theory was very important, and what Maxwell said is that light do not require any medium to propagate. Like I said, EM waves are the ones that do not require medium to travel. So Maxwell also quoted the same for light, and the another thing that he said is light has a tendency to bend around opaque objects. Right? So suppose this is an opaque object, what he said, that light has a tendency to bend around it or it will spread. Okay, so this kind of phenomena is known as actually diffraction. Again, we'll not talk about that in detail over here, but Maxwell, when he talked about light in terms of electromagnetic wave and again started doing experiments, he also lost a track of few of the phenomena related to light, again the complex one, though he could explain maximum things, but again there were some drawbacks. Then came another theory, a very important one, quantum theory, which was given by Einstein. Everybody knows about it. And what he said that light propagates in the form of small particles of energy which are known as photons. He was a person who talked about photons, and he called these photons as energy packets. Now after this quantum theory, again one more theory came, which was given by de Broglie, again a physicist, and he talked about the dual nature theory of light. Okay, now dual nature word itself is telling that light has double kind of nature. Now from this was the most accepted one, this is the most accepted theory, and this person told that light behaves like a particle as well as wave. See, two things we have got. According to Newton, it was like a particle only. According to Maxwell, it was like a wave only. Fine. And quantum said something else. He gave a concept of photon, which is not wrong. I'm not saying it is wrong. But the most accepted one, wherein we can prove all the phenomena related to light practically also, was de Broglie's theory. And he was the one who explained it, that light behaves as a particle as well as wave, and it depends on the circumstances or the situations that you are providing lights for its propagation. Okay, so these are the theories, important ones. There are others also, but these are important ones. And after this theory, we got to know that light has dual nature. So now if somebody asks you what is light, light is a form of energy that gives us a sensation of vision, and light has dual nature. It can behave as a particle as well as wave, and everything, this behavior of light depends on the situations that you are providing it for its propagation. Okay, now after this, now we are going to talk about the characteristics of light. Though you are going to study it in detail in this chapter, but before we start this in detail, we all should know the basic things about light. Okay, so we'll start with the first point, a very common one, that speed of light in vacuum, or we call it free space, is 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. This you always have to remember, because in this chapter when you will get the numericals, there will be certain questions wherein they will not provide the speed of light, but you should know because you have to substitute this value into the formulas. Okay, so speed of light in vacuum and free space is 3 to 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. And as far as your numericals are concerned, even if in the numericals they are talking about only air, though we know that air has certain resistance, there are water molecules, water particles present, okay, humidity is there, dust particles present, so everything is there, all these things are there, so obviously speed will reduce if we compare it with vacuum. But in case of numericals, you're going to use the same speed of light as you're using it in vacuum. Next thing is the speed of light in water. Speed of light in water is 2.25 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. Now you can see it has decreased as we have changed the medium. In vacuum or free space it was 3 and now it has become 2.25 when we have moved towards a liquid. Next is glass. Its speed of light in glass you are going to take as 2 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. Fine. So these three values you have to remember as far as your numericals are concerned. And one more thing you have understood from this point is that speed of light is decreasing as we are moving from air or gas towards the solid. Okay, water is liquid, glass is a solid. So you can see the speed is decreasing, 3, 2.25 and then you're getting 2. So this is the first characteristic that we all should know. The second characteristic of light, again a very important one, you all have studied in your lower classes, that light travels in a straight line. Okay, and what do we call this thing as? What do we call it as? Rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light. Okay, so according to which light will always travel in a straight line. Another very important characteristic of light is that we already have observed in the first point is that velocity of light. Okay, you can also talk about speed, but because in refraction the direction is also going to change a bit. So here velocity of light changes when it travels from one medium to another. From one medium to another. Okay, now why it happens? Because see, in gas the molecules are far apart. If these are the molecules, if you are talking about water or any liquid, the molecules will be closer. Now if you are talking about solid, the molecules will be tightly packed, okay, to each other. There is no intermolecular space over there. So if this light is moving over here, what is happening? There is less obstruction. Here the obstruction has increased. In case of solid, the obstruction has increased more. So that is the reason the speed or the velocity of the light decreases as we move from one medium to another, or to be specific, if you move from gas to liquid and then to the solid. Next important point about the characteristic of light is that frequency of light does not change even after change in medium. Even if you will change the medium, like we talked about velocity got reduced as we were moving from gas towards liquid and then towards solid, but frequency of the light never changes. A very simple reason for this is that frequency depends on the source of the light. Okay, now if this is a bulb, okay, and this bulb is emitting some light, so the light which is emitted by the bulb has certain frequency. So frequency is decided by the source itself. Okay, so once the source has given out a light of certain frequency, that light will remain of that frequency only, it's not going to change. So it's a very important point that though velocity changes, but frequency of light never changes. Next important point is that light gets reflected when it falls on a polished surface. Okay, so here I have mentioned polished surface, but actually it's not only polished surface, it's any of the surface. Okay, but why I mentioned polished surface, because if you have a polished surface, to be very specific, if you are talking about mirror, if the rays are coming this way, these are the incident ray, so maximum rays will follow or undergo reflection. Okay, now what is the meaning of this thing, why I said maximum number of rays will get reflected, bacha? One more thing you all have to remember is always you have to remember that it's not going to happen at one point of time only reflection is happening. I'll give you a very simple example, very simple one. Okay, now you must have observed when during your school timings, in your window panes, and at homes also you can experience it, that the glass pane, I'm talking about glass pane is transparent medium. Okay, so what is going to happen, light will pass through it because it is transparent medium, so light will travel through it. This is the glass thing, light will travel, but you all can observe that you can see your image also in that, you can see your image to certain extent in that glass as well. Okay, so here what you are observing is that reflection is also happening and refraction is also happening. Okay, and if again I'm telling you this in layman terms, now suppose there are 100 rays which are coming and striking a surface, it's not going to happen that all 100 rays are going to get reflected. Some of the rays will be absorbed by the surface, some of the rays will undergo refraction, few of the rays will undergo reflection. Fine, so these phenomena are happening side by side simultaneously, all these things are going on. Fine, so if you have a polished surface, maximum reflection will take place, otherwise reflection happens everywhere. Okay, you and me, we all are able to see each other because of the reflection only. Okay, and it is not so that we all are mirrors, we all are polished surfaces, it is not so. Next important point is light travels or light bends. Another word we can say that light undergoes refraction when it travels from one medium to another. Okay, now again the same thing that I had talked about, if you are moving from air to water, light will bend because the speed has decreased. If you are moving from water to glass, again the speed or velocity of the light will decrease because the medium has changed. Okay, so these are the basic important characteristics of light and is the introduction of this chapter. I hope you all are clear with. So what we have understood is light is a form of energy that gives us the sensation of vision. We all are able to see each other because of the this light only. Fine, and one more thing, it is not so that light is coming out of our eye, that's a misconception. Fine, there is a source of light for us, like there is sun, the light is being given by sun, and everywhere the light is getting reflected, that reflected light enters into our eye and we can see each other. Another important thing that we got to know about is the theories which were given by scientists like Newton, Maxwell, then Einstein, and the last one was de Broglie. From these things we got to know that light has dual nature, it has particle as well as wave nature. Then we got to know about the characteristics of light. Okay, so please remember these points because these are going to help you as we move ahead in the chapter. Thank you, children.